I remember the day everything changed for us. It started out like any other day. Just me, Lenon, Leeroy, Chloe, Sami, and Maya hanging out at the old treehouse. We were a tight-knit crew, always dreaming up wild adventures. But that day felt different. There was a spark in the air, a sense of possibility. Lenon, with his wild ideas, suggested we explore the abandoned factory on the edge of town. It was a place of legends, filled with tales of hidden treasures and ghostly encounters. I could see the excitement in everyone's eyes, even Sami, who usually preferred the safety of our backyard. "What if we find something amazing?" he said, his voice barely above a whisper. That was all it took. We gathered our gear, flashlights, snacks, and a map we'd drawn from old stories. As we approached the factory, the towering structure loomed over us, casting long shadows. Chloe, always the brave one, led the charge. "Come on, guys. What's the worst that could happen?" Inside, the air was thick with dust and mystery. Leeroy, ever the jokester, made ghost sounds that echoed through the empty halls, making us all jump. But as we ventured deeper, the laughter faded. We stumbled upon a room filled with old machinery and strange symbols on the walls. Maya, with her curiosity, started tracing the symbols with her fingers. "These look like they tell a story," she said, her eyes wide with wonder. Suddenly, we heard a loud crash from the other side of the room. Our hearts raced as we turned to see a pile of old crates had toppled over. "What was that?" Chloe whispered, her voice trembling. We huddled together, the thrill of fear mixing with excitement. It was then that we noticed a glimmer beneath the debris. With a mix of trepidation and anticipation, we cleared the crates to reveal a rusty old chest. My hands shook as I reached for the latch. This could be it, I thought. Inside, we found not gold or jewels, but something even more valuable. Old photographs and letters, remnants of the factory's past. They told stories of the workers who had once toiled there, their dreams and struggles captured in time. As we sifted through the memories, I realized this adventure was about more than just treasure. It was about friendship, discovery, and the stories that connect us all. We spent hours in that factory, piecing together the lives of those who came before us, laughing and sharing our own dreams along the way. When we finally emerged into the sunlight, we were different. We weren't just a group of friends anymore. We were explorers, storytellers, and guardians of history. That day marked the beginning of countless adventures, each one teaching us something new about the world and ourselves. And as we walked home, I couldn't help but think about how every adventure starts with a single step, a spark of curiosity, and a little bit of courage. We were just kids, but in that moment, we felt like we could take on anything. Little did we know this was just the first of many journeys that would shape our lives forever. The map led us beyond the familiar streets of our town, into Thornberry Woods, a place that felt both exciting and a little terrifying. With a flashlight in one hand and a compass in the other, I could feel the thrill of adventure coursing through me. Chloe's bag of snacks was slung over her shoulder, a comforting reminder that we were prepared for anything. We hiked all day, the sun climbing high above us, casting playful shadows through the trees. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, we stumbled upon a clearing. There it was, a dry creek bed, and at its center stood an old wooden bridge. It looked ancient, rotting in places, and yet it held a certain allure. Sami, always the observant one, pointed out an engraving on the wood. "Look, it's the same symbol from the book," he said, excitement bubbling in his voice. A swirl with 5 stars. I felt a shiver run down my spine. This wasn't just a bridge. It felt like a gateway. Without exchanging a word, we stepped onto the bridge. The moment our feet touched the weathered wood, something shifted. The sky flickered above us, and the trees around us shimmered as if they were alive. I blinked, and suddenly everything looked different. The colors were more vibrant, the greens of the leaves almost glowing, the browns of the earth rich and deep. It was as if we had crossed into another realm. Animals paused in their tracks, their eyes widened, curious, watching us with an intensity that felt almost sentient. The wind whispered through the branches, carrying sounds that were both familiar and strange. I could hear laughter, distant and echoing, mingling with the rustle of leaves. It was enchanting and unsettling all at once. We had entered Hollow Creek, but not the one from Earth. This place felt alive, pulsing with energy and secrets waiting to be uncovered. I could sense that we were no longer just explorers. We were part of something much larger. The air was thick with possibility, and I could feel the weight of the adventure ahead pressing down on my shoulders. What lay beyond this bridge? What stories were hidden in the shadows of these trees? I glanced at Chloe and Sami, their faces lit with wonder, and I knew we were ready to find out. This was just the beginning of our journey, and I could hardly contain my excitement. Hollow Creek was calling, and we were here to answer.
I stood there, heart racing, as the creature before us introduced itself. "I am Thorn, guardian of Hollow Creek," it said, its voice a blend of wisdom and urgency. I could hardly believe my eyes. Feathers, fur, and antlers all combined into one magnificent being. It felt like something out of a dream, yet the weight of its words was all too real. Thorn explained that Hollow Creek exists in a hidden space, nestled between moments in time, a world that thrives on magic and life, but now it was fading. The Heartstone, the very essence of this realm, had been stolen. Without it, everything here would vanish, leaving nothing but silence and shadows. The gravity of the situation hit me like a wave. "You were chosen," Thorn continued, looking each of us in the eye, "because each of you holds a part of what we need to bring balance." I felt a mix of disbelief and excitement. Chosen? What could I possibly offer? But as Thorn spoke, I began to understand. Each of us had something unique, a strength or a quality that could help restore Hollow Creek. I glanced at my friends, their faces reflecting a mix of determination and uncertainty. We had always been close, bound by friendship, but this was different. This was a call to adventure, a chance to make a difference in a world that needed us. Thorn's words ignited a spark within me. I realized that our bond was more than just shared experiences. It was a source of power. As Thorn described the Heartstone, I could almost feel its energy pulsing through the air. It was a symbol of hope, a beacon that once brought life to Hollow Creek. The thought of it being lost, of this magical place fading away, filled me with urgency. We had to act. Thorn laid out our quest to find the Heartstone and restore balance to the realm. It wouldn't be easy. There would be challenges, obstacles, and perhaps even moments of doubt. But I knew we had each other. Our friendship was our greatest strength, and together we could face whatever lay ahead. With a newfound sense of purpose, I took a deep breath. This was our moment. We were not just kids anymore. We were guardians in our own right, ready to embark on a journey that would test us, shape us, and ultimately unite us. Hollow Creek was counting on us, and I was ready to rise to the occasion. The trials were upon us, and each of us faced a challenge that tested our very essence. I remember standing at the entrance of the Caves of Whispers, where Lenon was deep in thought, grappling with a riddle that seemed to echo through the darkness. His mind was sharp, and I could see the gears turning as he pieced together the clues. It was a moment of brilliance when he finally spoke the answer, and the cave responded with a soft glow, revealing the first shard of the Heartstone. Then there was Leeroy, who stood at the edge of the Skyvine Cliffs, the wind howling around him. The rope bridge swayed precariously, and I could feel the tension in the air. But Leeroy, with his unwavering courage, took a deep breath and crossed that bridge like a warrior. Each step was a testament to his bravery, and when he reached the other side, he held the second shard high, a symbol of his triumph over fear. Chloe's trial was unlike any other. In the singing forest, she had to mediate between two feuding bird tribes. Their squawking filled the air, a cacophony of anger and mistrust. But Chloe, with her clever words and compassionate heart, found a way to unite them. She listened, she empathized, and in doing so, she earned their respect. When she emerged with the third shard, it felt like the forest itself had come alive with harmony. Sami's journey through the Mirage Maze was a test of perception. While others wandered aimlessly, Sami's sharp eyes caught glimpses of hidden paths and illusions. It was as if the maze was trying to deceive him, but he saw through it all. When he finally found the hidden passage and retrieved the fourth shard, it was a reminder that sometimes the truth is obscured, but with focus, we can uncover it. And then there was Maya. Her trial was deeply personal, a confrontation with her own fears and doubts. Guided by a dream, she faced illusions that sought to undermine her confidence. I watched as she battled her inner demons, each moment a struggle, but ultimately she emerged victorious. Holding the final shard, she radiated strength, a beacon of resilience. With all 5 shards in hand, we returned to Hollow Creek, only to find Thorn gravely wounded. The shadow of Varnak loomed over us, a dark force seeking the Heartstone's power. Thorn's warning echoed in my mind. You can leave and be safe, or you can fight. In that moment, we exchanged glances, a silent understanding passing between us. We chose to fight. Together, we combined our strengths: Lenon's knowledge, Leeroy's courage, Chloe's cleverness, Sami's keen perception, and Maya's intuition. It was a fierce battle, but we outwitted Varnak, trapping him in a mirror of his own making. As we placed the shards back into the pedestal, the Heartstone pulsed with light, and in that instant, the world around us transformed. Trees bloomed, rivers flowed, and Hollow Creek was alive again. We had not only recovered the shards, we had discovered the power of unity, courage, and friendship. Each trial had shaped us, and together we had triumphed over darkness.
It's funny how a simple compass can change everything. Thorn handed it to us with a knowing smile, and I felt a spark of excitement. Whenever you need Hollow Creek, or whenever it needs you, it will point the way. Those words echoed in my mind as we crossed the bridge again, leaving behind the wild adventures we had just experienced. The world around us shifted back to normal, but I could still feel the magic lingering in the air. Summer had just begun, and the possibilities felt endless. I looked at my friends, their faces lit up with anticipation. We had faced challenges that tested our courage, but we emerged stronger, more connected. Holding the compass, I felt a sense of responsibility. It wasn't just a tool, it was a reminder of our bond and the adventures that lay ahead. I could almost hear the whispers of Hollow Creek calling us back, urging us to explore its secrets. "Who's ready for the next adventure?" I asked, my heart racing. The smiles on their faces said it all. We were ready to dive into the unknown, to uncover hidden treasures, and to face whatever challenges awaited us. Every adventure teaches us something new. We learned about bravery, friendship, and the importance of believing in ourselves. Each moment spent in Hollow Creek was a lesson, a story waiting to be told. And now, with the compass in hand, we had the key to unlock even more mysteries. I could already imagine the places we'd go, the creatures we'd meet, and the challenges we'd conquer together. The thrill of the unknown was intoxicating. Would we find ancient ruins, or perhaps a hidden waterfall? The thought sent shivers down my spine. As we stood there, I realized that this was more than just a summer adventure. It was a journey of growth, of discovery. We were no longer just kids, we were explorers, adventurers ready to carve our own paths. With the compass guiding us, I knew we would always find our way back to each other, no matter where our journeys took us. This was just the beginning. The world was vast, and our hearts were full of courage. I couldn't wait to see where the compass would lead us next.